Rodenticide poisoning. A rodenticide is a type of pesticide specifically designed to kill rodents such as rats and mice. These substances are formulated as baits, often with attractive flavors like peanut butter, to attract rodents. While effective in controlling rodenticides can pose risks to other animals, including pets and humans, through accidental ingestion or secondary to poisoning. Rodenticides or substances used to kill rodents can be broadly classified into two main groups: anticoagulants and non-anticoagulants. Anticoagulants like warfarin and bromfenacin interfere with blood clotting, while non-anticoagulants encompass a variety of chemicals that disrupt other physiologic processes. Let us see anticoagulants first. Anticoagulant rodenticides. They are classified into three generations: first, intermediate, and the second generation. The first generations are warfarin and pindone, and the intermediates are chlorphalicon, and the second generation is bromfenacin. Those are the main drugs in each generation, but there are also other drugs. Anticoagulant rodenticides inhibit the production of vitamin K-dependent clotting factors, leading to internal bleeding and death. As you know, vitamin K is essential for hepatic synthesis of clotting factors 2, 7, 9, and 10, and disruption of normal coagulation process of blood, which causes failure of blood clotting, increased capillary permeability, tissue hypoxia, and massive internal bleeding, and finally death. The toxic effect of anticoagulant rodenticides include widespread internal bleeding, nosebleeds, bleeding gums, bleed in urine and feces, bruises due to ruptured blood vessels. Bleeding into GIT, eye, lungs are also seen. Depression and also loss of appetite is common. Anticoagulant rodenticides poisoning can be diagnosed through a combination of clinical signs, suspected exposure, and laboratory tests. A prolonged prothrombin time and activated partial thromboplastin time are key indicators, along with normal fibrinogen in the platelet counts. When we came to treatment of anticoagulant rodenticide poisoning, vitamin K administration is the most important. A key part of treatment, and the positive response to vitamin K can be an important diagnostic indicator. PT and APTT should be monitored during treatment to assess response and guide the duration of therapy. In addition to vitamin K, fresh frozen plasma, whole blood, supplementary or supportive treatment such as oxygen and glucose and saline therapy might be needed. The other rodenticide that has gained prominence as an alternative to anticoagulant rodenticides are cholecalciferol, or also known as vitamin D3. It works by raising calcium and phosphorus level in the blood, ultimately leading to kidney failure and other complications in rodents. While it is a potent rodenticide, it also poses risks to non-targeted animals, including humans. Cholecalciferol, when ingested by rodents, is converted to its active form within the body, causing significant increase in calcium levels. This hypercalcemia leads to various issues: damage kidney, GI, and heart. The clinical signs develop within 80 to 36 hours of ingestion: depression, anorexia, passing large amount of urine and excessive thirst, bloody vomit, and hemorrhagic diarrhea, including GI smooth muscle excitability decreases, resulting constipation. Unlike some other rodenticides, there isn't a specific antidote for cholecalciferol poisoning, so the treatment is supportive care. Treatment for this poisoning typically involves supportive care such as IV fluids and medications to manage calcium levels and kidney function, such as diuretics, calcitonin, fluid therapy, and steroid. If the patient comes within few minutes, gastric evacuation by activated charcoal is important. Metal phosphides are another group of rodenticide, specifically aluminum phosphide and zinc phosphide. They are effective because they release phosphine gas when they came into contact with moistures or acids such as gastric acid or hydrochloric acid. This phosphine gas is highly toxic and disrupts cellular respiration, leading to organ damage and potentially death. The mortality rate is high after aluminum phosphide. It's around 60%. After zinc phosphide, it is 2%. Just a few tablets can be fatal. Both the compound react with gastric acid to form phosphine, which is a potent pulmonary and GIT toxicant. To see aluminum phosphide separately, which is highly effective pesticide used as rodenticide and insecticide, it releases phosphine gas when it reacts with moisture and acids, which is toxic to rodents and other pests. While it is used to control pests, it can also be highly toxic to humans, with no specific antidote available for poisoning cases. After ingestion, aluminum phosphate releases phosphine gas in the presence of hydrochloric acid in the stomach, which is rapidly absorbed throughout the GI and leading to systemic toxicity, affecting or involving the heart, lung, kidney, liver, with manifestation of serious cardiac arrhythmia, intractable shock, acidosis, and pulmonary problems. To diagnose aluminum phosphide, direct detection of phosphine, a simple and a quick bedside test involving exposing a patient's breath or gastric contents to silver nitrate impregnated paper. A blacking of the paper indicates the presence of phosphine. In addition, gas chromatography with mass spectrum, which can be used to quantify or measure phosphine levels in blood or gastric samples. This is more sophisticated than silver nitrate test. It is used in forensic settings. In addition, metabolic detection, which is a more advanced method, involves reacting a sample with zinc and sulfuric acid in a volatile organic analysis battle, converts any metabolite into phosphine gas. In addition, clinical and supportive lab tests such as complete blood count, organ function tests such as creatinine, BUN, random blood sugar, because hyperglycemia is potential finding. In addition, electrolytes, liver function tests, coagulation studies are needed. Other tests such as ECG, thoracic radiograph to evaluate for respiratory distress, and the liver profile 3 to 5 days after ingestion to monitor liver function is important. The standard intensive care management for aluminum phosphide poisoning includes early resuscitation with crystalloids, gastric lavage, intravenous sodium bicarbonate, magnesium sulfate, and sometimes corticosteroid and aggressive management of shock, including cardiac arrhythmia and respiratory failure. In addition, there are also other rodenticides like norbromide, barium carbonate, bromethalin, and others. Those are less commonly encountered compared to common anticoagulants like warfarin and its congeners, while bromethalin is still used. Some of these others are extremely rare in modern area. If you like my content and want to keep up with future updates, hit that subscribe button. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Thank you.